Well, let's develop an accurate base plan for a rear area outside a very small house. This is the footprint of the house. So I'm going to start by drawing the footprint of the house. Let's imagine I've been to the site and on a little mud map I've measured the walls around. We're looking at the backyard through this area here. I've turned my drawing colour to red, and let's create that first line. 5405 is our site measurement. So we start with line. I'll hit the L key and enter. That's the shortcut for line. And we're going to start at coordinate 0, 0 and hit enter. And as I pull away from that coordinate, you can see that the line is stretching out and it's asking me for the next point. I'm going to put ortho on, which is click on the switch in the status line, so that my line will now be horizontal or vertical, but in this case I want horizontal, and I just type the distance, 5405, and hit enter. The line goes in. I then come down here in this direction, 5060, and hit enter. Now across here, 6030, 6030, and enter. Now we could move down in this direction a little and enter. If I wanted to draw that little segment here, I could say draw a line, and I can pick up the end of that first one, or I could have typed 0, 0, and that's just an arbitrary distance. So now I've got the footprint of the house accurately drawn. The next item, the next thing to do, is to set up the boundaries on the left and across the back and down on the right-hand side. The next step might be to accurately locate the boundaries. Let's imagine that this side had a back fence that sloped up at an angle through here. So on our mud map, we've done some triangulation. So we've measured from this corner of the house up to the corner of the block, and we've come across to this next corner of the house and measured another length there. So we have the radius of two circles that when they intersect, that'll give us that point there, and similarly over here. So all we do is draw 4 circles in this case, and I'll put those on a layer called circles. So let's turn the circles layer on now, and you may be able to see that the orange circles, each circle is drawn appropriately. Let's pick this one here, which in the box here should have a radius of 1040. So those 4 circles have been drawn correctly, and where they intersect gives us the corner points. So now we can draw a new line that represents the back fence from the intersection of those 2 circles, from that point there to the intersection of that circle there, and exit. What I can now do is turn off the window, the window layer is off, the circles layer, and we now have an accurate back boundary. We could quite easily draw a line from the end of that back fence boundary, come down in this direction because we know it's square to the house, and pick ortho on and draw like so, exit there, draw another line, pick it up from the end of that one down there and draw. Can you see now we have the accurately drawn house footprint, we have the accurate back boundary and accurate side boundaries. We might, for the sake of argument, know that the owner of the house has created some sort of garden bed running at an angle there. We might simply be able to offset that back line. So we could just go modify and offset, pick the back boundary, right click and go distance, and we might have measured that distance as in fact 2 meters, just indicate the side. So there's a 2 meter offset from that back boundary, and we of course would need to do some more trimming. The important point is by simply starting with the house footprint and then doing some simple triangulation, you can rapidly map out a base plan. Now when you want to build on the drawing, it becomes easy. Imagine that in this space there's a thick screening area 2 meters wide. We can simply go to our library, we could go to plants, we could go to size, we could pick up some tall trees, scroll through here until we find a tree symbol that we like the look of, open it, insert it into the drawing, and in goes the tall tree symbol. We could copy it, maybe take ortho off, unselect all, and we're building the drawing. It's quite a simple matter to embellish the design. I've just gone library and plants and sized, and I go to maybe grasses at this point, pick up a small grass symbol, insert it into the drawing. We'll put it down in this zone here, and then maybe copy it a number of times and put it mass planting through that area and finish. And I hope you can see that the drawing is taken shape. Clearly these numbers and the dashed lines are no longer required, and they're very easily removed. Just select them like so, erase them, and there's the accurately developed landscape plan based on a simple mud map that we've constructed when we've been out on site. So we have a full-size model and we're ready, if needed, to swing to a presentation space. Let's just do that. Go to Layout. We'll make a new layout on, say, an A2 sheet in album format, and we'll go OK and go to that layout space and zoom extents and just see how our drawing is taken shape. We'll take the grid off and you can see things are developing. We need to change some colours to give more definition to our boundaries, but our design is certainly taking shape.